It's Christmas Eve and it's raining. Raining. But I did get the frame shortened up on the truck. I don't know, I might take another 12 inches or so out of it. What do you think? And then I took the piece I cut out and moved it up here. Kind of looks like a bomb went off in here. We moved the cab back last night. Got a few guys over here, moved it back. And now we need to clean up some extra stuff and clean out that cab and set that cab on this frame and dig out some more parts and do a bunch of other stuff. I need to figure out some place to put that today in the rain. What do you think, bud? What do you think about what we got all done here?
Well, I don't know.
You don't know? You and Grandpa done most of this, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know what we gotta do now?
Nope.
We gotta clean out that cab up there and figure out how we're gonna get that off the ceiling. And then set it on this frame. Think we can do it? Alright, is Grandpa coming?
I gotta go get him.
Okay, go get him.
Looks like there's some bolts gonna come out of there.
It went in, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it ought to come out.
Screw it to go out. It tightens right up.
Maybe it's the left-hand thread.
Well, I tried the other way and it tightens up too.
So it's kind of a bi-directional thread.
That's a unique one.
Well, it's on there. Way too high. Now I gotta go get some more parts. Alright, we got the cab sitting on it. Obviously sitting way too high. And went down the basement and dug around and found the fenders and the hood and all that stuff. Next order of business, bring it up here and see how this stuff's gonna fit. I don't know if that big wide radiator is gonna survive. So we'll see. And I gotta pull that out of here. I'm running out of space. I had to ask some neighbors if I could park it under their carport. That's pitiful, ain't it? Pitiful. Yeah, step back a little bit so we can see. The cab's gotta come forward a good 6 inches, don't it?
The center of the wheel?
At least.
Yeah.
Well. What do you think, bud?
I don't think this is gonna work.
Why not? Yeah, we might need to clean that out. Looks like we've had some mice residing there.
At least they had a peaceful time.
I guess so. Nobody disturbed them for quite some time. That's the first time you sat in it, ain't it?
Yep.
What do you think? Pretty cool?
Yeah.
It's too high though, isn't it?
Yeah.
A little fella could get hurt falling out of a truck sitting up this high. We better lower it.
I have to get down to this. I don't want to end up dying.
Me either.
Wait a minute. Oh. Alright.
More?
Now where their dad tells you now.
I think that'll work.
Yeah.
What'd you say we need to do with this mess?
Clean it up.
Smart boy. Go. Alright, it's Christmas Eve on the double cab truck here. We kinda got things mocked up. I cut a big hunk out of the firewall. Looks like I gotta cut some more. Got a big mess in the shop. There's the mouse apartment complex that was in the glove box. And the thing sits too high. I got everything moved up so the wheels are about centered, but they're a little too wide. I'd like for it to go down about another 10 inches, but if I'm going to run a hood and everything, which I want to do, I'm running out of room. This is a big old engine on this thing. I'm gonna need to whack the frame off right about there, and same thing on the other side, so I can make room for the nose piece over there. That radiator ain't gonna make it. I'll probably be paying to see how much a radiator costs. It'll fit up in that hood, which is about 24 inches right there. I don't want to cut this thing up too much because it's real, and the cab and everything's in really nice shape. No, hardly any rust at all. The only rust in the whole thing is right there in the floor. So anyway, I got some contemplating to do. The lift worked pretty handy. Lift that cab up and down. Merry Christmas. See what we've been doing while you've been sitting around in the house?
I ain't been sitting around in the house.
Oh yeah, what you been doing?
Wrapping Christmas present, preparing meals, prepping.
What's that take? 5 minutes?
Why don't you try it sometime?
What do you think?
Wow, that's really something. Are these the original fenders?
To what?
The 46?
Yeah. What do you think? Is it too high? Sits too high? Too low? Let me give you a few minutes to think about it.
Well, it's hard to say without the rest of the parts and pieces.
Oh, for Pete's sake. You're gonna make me work some more?
I'll have to just make a later decision on that.
Here, let's put the hood on it.
Using the lift.
Well, of course I am. Well, what do you think now? The hood's on it.
I think it looks pretty good, but should the wheelbase be up this far? Or should it be a little more centered?
We might have to work on that a little bit. I need to make sure the fender's in the right place.
I think the fender looks pretty good there.
No, it looked better before when the fender was up. We just knocked it down a little bit.
Well, yeah, up
Putting the
in the
hood on.
front, but I mean,
I think it's lined up pretty good with the wheel wells. But the cab can't go into forward no more unless I cut the whole firewall out of it.
oh,
Which I might do yet.
really?
Might cut the floor out too. It's just too high. Sits too high. But before I'll do all that, I'm gonna cut this frame rail off right here, so I can at least loosely bolt that to both fenders and kind of mock everything up and see how it looks. But the lower I go, the more painful it's gonna be to get everything fit.
Yikes.
But I think it's got to go lower because here, I'm 6'2" and it's over my head. It's too high. This shop is such a mess, I can barely move around. But there's the firewall pad we just took out of it. It's in pretty good shape.
For the shape it's in.
Yeah, for 1946. I think I said one time that truck's got 12,000 miles on it, but it's got 24 is what it's got. And you'll see some of this stuff is primed. Some of it ain't. The reason it is, when I was 14, I started working on this truck and I sandblasted a bunch of it and primed it. You can see there, got some old red spot putty, the lacquer kind down there. And that's just lacquer primer. All that stuff's gonna have to go. This door here is primed. The other one isn't. It still says something on the door. We'll have to check that out here pretty soon. And if I don't break my trouble light.
Hope not.
You're so pretty.
I don't need to be on a spotlight.
Right there's the dash. 24,367 miles. That's pretty cool there. Gross weight at 45 and under is 13.5, 45 and over 12.5. I think it's a pretty cool rig. That's the original upholstery on the seats. The little kick panels go right down there. Somebody added a heater, which I have down in the basement. It's a really cool heater. I gotta try to use that. Of course, with the turbo right there, probably won't be needing the heater as bad as we'll be needing air conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what that contraption is, but it was up there on the firewall. It's got me wondering what that is. There's its last service sticker. 25